Welcome everyone to our November 2023 product launch. I'm Inbar Oren, Chief Product Officer at Scaled Agile. Last March, we shared with you SAFe 6.0, and I want to thank all of you for the support and love you've shown this new version of SAFe. Both in person at the Prague and Nashville summits and online, so many of you shared how you see it making your enterprise or customer journey to business agility faster and better. We also introduced SAFe Studio, the next evolution of our platform and your hub to learn, practice, and manage SAFe with access to the right tools and resources at the right time. We promise to continually evolve the platform with new functionality, and we are, including a new on-demand learning feature. Look for an invitation to participate in this unique beta opportunity later in our presentation. SAFe is the world's leading system for business agility. We're constantly thinking of ways to improve it with more knowledge, innovative learning technologies and modalities, and tools and applications to practice SAFe events and activities. And I'm excited to be here today to share all the amazing things we've been working on. You'll hear from several Scaled Agile people located around the world. The PIPlanning.io team will introduce new solution-level features. Dima Dajani will share a new application for participatory budgeting, as well as exciting developments in lean portfolio management. Cheryl Kruby will talk about new ways to help empower your people. And Andrew Sales will present the continuation of our work on Flow, which we believe is the future of Agile. With that, let's start with the PIPlanning.io team in Switzerland.
Thanks, Inbar. Let's leave those phone days behind. Now, let's talk about state-of-the-art collaboration in today's world. You might ask yourself, what is PIPlanning.io? And why should I care? Here's the simple answer. When in PI Planning, people share the same goals and collaboration is smooth. Everything else falls into place. This is where PIPlanning.io comes into play. I could now go on and share countless game-changing features with you, but I don't want to bore you with that. Instead, let's roll this quick rundown.
PIPlanning.io is simple planning, smooth execution. Let's dive into some fantastic features that will transform your PI planning experience. The number one challenge in PI planning is consistent and transparent dependency handling. Don't get lost here. Instead, enjoy our integrated art and solution planning boards, providing unique transparency, not just within teams, but across multiple arts. Here's an example. You can have the same feature on the art backlog in the context of WSGF prioritization, on your art planning board in the context of dependency visualization, and on your team board in the context of feature swim lanes. If we change attributes of this feature, like move it into another iteration, it's consistently updated everywhere else. This is context-aware planning and leads to ultimate alignment. Our user-friendly interface allows you to effortlessly filter, rearrange, cluster, and move stickies, providing a visual master plan for you and your team. The best part, if I create this sticky note here in this iteration, with a blink of an eye, it's also in Jira, where I can make modifications as well, which are then also again reflected in PIPlanning.io. This also applies to our other integrations, such as Rally or Microsoft Azure DevOps.
Does that mean that once done with PI planning, I have to work in Jira?
Not at all. PIPlanning.io is the frictionless solution where planning and execution converge. It keeps everything in sync, so you can stay where you've put together your plan, even throughout your PI execution, tracking progress in a simple interface. No need to go back to your ALM tool for your daily work. See? Simple planning, smooth execution. Our customers experience it day in, day out, that when people share the same goals in PI planning and collaboration is smooth, everything else falls into place.
Now you know what PIPlanning.io is. Let's talk about dependency.
Silvio, before you go deeper into that topic, I hear people say, we already have a whiteboard solution in place where we can collaborate with all 150 colleagues on the same canvas.
Well, that sounds cozy. But PI Planning IO lets your teams focus on the planning. Don't overload your teams with visual stimuli. If a team is in their team breakout, they should only focus on their plan. Maybe even focus on just breaking down one single feature.
Okay, but in that case, why not do PI planning directly in the ALM tool, like Jira? There I have all the capabilities at my disposal.
Sure, you do have all the capabilities, but be aware that this doesn't help your team with focus. The PI Planning IO interface has been shortened to the absolute minimum so that our teams in PI planning can focus on planning. No distractions with dozens of different views, filters, and work items which are not relevant for the PI.
But if we do PI planning directly in Jira, we have all the work in there already. No need to painfully bring back the information.
Not a concern with PI Planning IO. PI Planning IO integrates in a real-time, bidirectional way with Jira, Rally, and Microsoft Azure DevOps. If your teams create a user story, they don't need to think about anything but what value the user story will deliver. The story itself ends up automatically in the right place in the ALM tool, with all the attributes attached to it.
I see. Simple planning, smooth execution. I'm sorry, Silvio. Go ahead. You wanted to speak about dependencies.
Over the last years, we have simplified dependency handling on the team and also on ARC level. All of that in close collaboration with our amazing customers, who are some of the largest organizations in the world. Now, we are taking it a step further by introducing the solution boards. Dependencies can be shared across ARCs, and the solution board allows key stakeholders to have a unique and simplified view to manage and track cross-art dependencies. Having the cross-art dependency already visualized on the art planning board, I can bring it up to the solution board and link it to the corresponding feature. And we also make life easier for teams. No more jumping around different tools and browser tabs during your draft and final plan reviews. We just released our plan readout overview, providing one space to present and talk about your objectives, risks, and capacity. For example, with this team here, we can skip through their team PI objectives and see at a glance their raised risks and their load versus capacity ratio. Everything we have presented is available to all PI Planning IO customers starting today. If you see yourself in some of these scenarios, now is the perfect time to register for a free trial. Go to trial.piplanning.io and start changing your planning game. With that, I'll hand it over to Dima, joining us from Texas, to discuss advancements in lean portfolio management. Over to you, Dima.
Thanks, Silvio. Hi, everyone. I'm Dima Dejani, a SAFE Fellow and Product Management Director here at Scaled Agile. I'm here to share the latest exciting developments in Lean Portfolio Management, or LPM, including a fantastic new app that puts some fun into funding. Now that the LPM IP has been out for a few years, we've learned a lot about how organizations are operating their Lean portfolios. The new guidance I'm sharing today, along with the new application, provide a groundbreaking set of tools to level up your LPM practice. A lease leader once told me, we got really good at doing SAFE, but we're just not delivering on our strategy. On a recent tour of organizations practicing LPM, I noticed that connection was missing. In almost every case, the issue tied back to strategic themes. Either they are poorly formed or non-existent. All the while, we know that enterprises that create well-formed strategic themes gain a significant competitive edge. Good news? Our updated guidance outlines how to formulate strategic themes. You will get a practical view of the questions to answer and what inputs to gather in order to synthesize your strategic themes. LPM also provides powerful practices to connect strategy to execution. As SAFE expands across organizations, we've gotten feedback that many of you have multiple portfolios and in need of a way to coordinate across those portfolios. I have a good example to share on this very topic. A Fortune 100 company had no common strategy while having independent portfolios. So they set out to implement an enterprise portfolio. This inspired their people to think about how they could contribute to the overall enterprise strategy. So, what are the results so far? They're experiencing faster delivery, higher quality, better stakeholder satisfaction. And this is happening from the portfolio level all the way to the teams. And now, our updated enterprise article provides a whole new level of guidance on enterprise portfolio management. This guidance clarifies the collaboration between the enterprise and the stakeholders in each portfolio to define strategy and budget, coordinate enterprise cross-cutting initiatives, and measure enterprise portfolio delivery. A third and important key element to consider when thinking about portfolios are the people who operate them, those in the Value Management Office or VMO. We all know that the transition from PMO to VMO is more than a branding exercise. The VMO has the important role of enabling LPM and of your portfolio's operational excellence. We are excited to provide further guidance to help you evolve it in our new Value Management Office article. It describes the key people interactions and responsibilities of the VMO and the deep connection with the LACE to support your overall transformations. You can read the new and updated guidance on strategic themes, enterprise, and the VMO at scaledagileFramework.com and on Safe Studio. We talked about strategy. So how does the portfolio determine the right investments to achieve this strategy and their business outcomes? We are at a stage of LPM adoption where many organizations are shifting their funding model from funding projects to funding value streams. SAFE introduced the participatory budgeting event in LPM to do just that. Participatory budgeting is a game-changing event that prompts people to think differently about strategy and funding the most important investments for the organization. And guess what? Participatory budgeting adoption is on the rise in SAFE portfolios across the globe. The event is meant to spark meaningful conversations and encourage people to think more holistically about investing across their entire portfolio. But with spreadsheets and sticky notes, you risk limiting your results to a mere popularity vote without considering the broader portfolio balance or your strategy. With such high stakes, making decisions on the portfolio's most significant investment is risky if you don't have real-time insight. But that's not the case anymore. I'm so excited to introduce SAFE CoFund, an application specifically designed to enable enterprises to easily determine value stream funding collaboratively. With SAFE CoFund, you can align stakeholders on value stream funding allocations while visualizing the connections between important LPM elements in real time. You can see the voting impact on value streams, on strategic themes, and on investment horizons. You can gain visibility to colors of money and other funding constraints. And decision makers can make better informed decisions to support the strategy. Best of all, the intuitive nature of the application and its real-time insights inspires meaningful conversations among stakeholders across your portfolio. Once you've used SAFE CoFund, you can export key data to your ALM, PPM, and other financial tools that you use today. Don't just take our word for it. A global company recently used SAFE CoFund for their very first participatory budgeting event to help them align priorities across the different brands and the different regions. Their experience highlighted the application's intuitive design, visibility to all the relevant data for better conversations, and a fun format. They felt the application created a sense of inclusion for their participants and helped everyone get aligned. And more good news, it's included in the latest update of the LPM course. If you're a trainer, you can easily facilitate the classroom simulation using a pre-configured event in SAFE CoFund. Check out our helpful facilitator guide to get you started. SAFE CoFund is participatory budgeting simplified. And you can experience it yourself right now. Log into Safe Studio today to start exploring. If you have a Safe Enterprise subscription or you are a Scaled Agile partner, ask your account manager about adding it. Then, use Safe GoFund in your next or very first participatory budgeting event. Now, Cheryl is joining us from North Carolina to talk about people who execute those investments. Take it away, Cheryl.
Thanks, Dima. Hi, everyone. I'm Cheryl Krupe, a member of the Framework team, and I am delighted to be here. Dima talked a lot about strategy. While strategy starts with leadership, it's the people in the organization that bring that strategy to life by delivering a continuous flow of value for customers and your organization. This is precisely what we're experiencing in the field. Companies that move fast, pivot, and adapt can do so because they have autonomous and empowered teams. The people on those teams are instrumental in testing and learning in the market, enabling the organization to deliver strategy quickly and confidently. This means business results rely on inspiring, trusting, and motivating your people. As a leader, I know one of my most important jobs was to foster the intrinsic motivation of the people I supported. I saw again and again that a team with a clear vision, the right skills, and intrinsic motivation is unstoppable. I witnessed the power of intrinsic motivation at a large global financial services company tasked with automating its IT operations to reduce thousands of hours of manual work. The organization empowered its teams to prioritize what work to do and how, and they achieved their goal 3 months early. I also saw it happen during the pandemic in a hackathon at an insurance company in Asia. Teams that hatched an idea at a virtual happy hour were given autonomy to build a digital app that radically enhanced the customer experience. They got it ready for market in just weeks. SAFE Principle 8, Unlock the Intrinsic Motivation of Knowledge Workers, describes how intrinsic motivation is rooted in autonomy, mastery, and purpose. SAFE promotes each through distributing authority, building a continuous learning culture, and focusing on shared purpose. I am excited to announce an important revision to Principle 8 that digs into the latest brain science and organizational research. It provides more specifics to promote what motivates your people and remove things from your organization that undermine it. Specifics like nurturing autonomy by giving workers control over what they do and how through decentralized decision-making. Cultivating mastery by encouraging workers to take on challenging special assignments that present new learning opportunities. And providing purpose and fostering customer empathy by connecting workers directly into the customer feedback loop. Successfully cultivating intrinsic motivation means supporting the people who support your people too. HR leaders play a critical role through their words and actions in creating an environment for happy, motivated people. Based on what we're hearing from our customers, there is a great deal HR can do to build a culture and environment that nurtures intrinsic motivation. I've led agile transformations at several large enterprises. In each case, HR wanted to participate. I remember one chief HR officer saying, "If Agile's about people, that's me. My team needs to be involved. What do we need to do?" HR can drive systemic changes to goal setting, recognition, and learning. This is why involving HR in your SAFE implementation from the start is so important. In the past, we did our best with the tech-oriented materials we had, but there wasn't an offering to help us educate these HR professionals in these practices until now. Introducing Agile HR Explorer, a one-day introductory certification course that covers Agile basics and an introduction to Agile HR taught through real-life case studies. Just Leading Solutions, a renowned thought leader in Agile HR and a Scaled Agile partner, created the Agile HR Explorer course. They wrote it in straightforward business language to help HR professionals and leaders gain a high-level understanding of Agile methodology and its influence on human resources. So, what problem does this course solve? Many Agile organizations face stiff headwinds from legacy HR practices, such as individual goal setting and performance management. We all know that inviting HR to evolve these practices to a model that supports supports agility is vital to a sustainable agile transformation. Now you have the materials that you can use to engage your HR partners. SPCs in good standing can teach Agile HR Explorer. I encourage you to start a conversation with your HR group to understand their challenges and set up a private class. People who have taken are sharing fantastic feedback. After learners complete the Agile HR Explorer course, they can access a link to take the exam with Just Leading Solutions and acquire a certification badge. They also gain access to Safe Studio. You can access Agile HR Explorer here. Working with HR to unlock intrinsic motivation is a building block for flow. Dean and Andrew spoke at the 2023 SAFE Summit Nashville about the secret to achieving flow across the enterprise. It's decentralized decision-making. You can watch their keynote in the Resource and Media Library section of Safe Studio. Speaking of Andrew Sales, he joins us now from the UK to talk about flow.
Thanks, Cheryl. Now, we've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to bring you the latest knowledge, guidance, and tools to practice SAFE successfully. And as you know, flow was and still is the overarching theme of SAFE 6.0. And we truly see flow as the next evolution of Agile because it allows organizations to deliver value as smoothly and effectively as possible. Now, of course, we've written and talked previously about flow, but we're going to continue to invest in this critical topic because organizations will ultimately live or die by their ability to accelerate the flow of value to their customers. And with this in mind, I'm delighted today to share with you 2 brand new articles and some upcoming resources to grow your expertise around flow. We want to make it as easy as possible for you, your teams, your trains, and your portfolios to deliver a flow of quality products and services all the way from trigger to value, quickly, effectively, and continuously. So first, we have brand new guidance that provides a deeper understanding of what you need to do to improve flow at every level of your organization. Now, of course, many roles within SAFE focus on flow. Scrum Masters, team coaches, RTEs, even the Value Management Office, and of course, SAFE Practice Consultants, SPCs. And previously, we've given them tools like the Flow Metrics and the Flow Accelerators. But this brand new article on coaching flow brings it all together. It provides everything that individuals need to understand how they can coach flow at their level of the organization. And inside this article, you'll find the brand new Coaching Flow Responsibility Wheel. This outlines 5 critical steps for coaching flow successfully. Let's have a look at each one of those steps briefly. Step 1, facilitating value stream mapping. Any workflow can be illuminated through value stream mapping. It helps us understand the steps, the activities, and critically, the delays. This new article describes how to carry out the value stream mapping process. And of course, don't forget, Safe Studio contains a dedicated value stream mapping page to help you get started. Step 2, establishing Kanban systems. Kanban systems allow you to visualize work and streamline the flow of value. And in SAFE, we recognize the need to have Kanban systems at every level of the framework to connect strategy through to execution. Step 3, measuring flow. How to apply the 6 flow metrics both to measure flow, but also importantly, to identify opportunities to improve flow. And then step 4, accelerating flow. In SAFE 6.0, we introduced the 8 flow accelerators, and the Coaching Flow article dives into how you can put these accelerators to work inside your enterprise. And finally, step 5, growing a flow mindset. This is a new way of working that requires leaders, stakeholders, and individuals across the entire organization to think differently about the importance of accelerating value delivery. And with this in mind, I'd also like to share some brand new guidance around SAFE Principle 9, decentralized decision making. Now, while we were developing SAFE 6.0, we had the opportunity to speak to many DevOps leaders in some of the most recognizable digital organizations. And it quickly became apparent that their teams appeared to have more autonomy and empowerment than more traditional organizations, even compared to those companies that were achieving great successes with their digital transformations. And when we really focused on what made those teams more effective, we concluded that those enterprises had done a great job of decentralizing control through effective, decentralized decision-making. That's the root of individual and team empowerment. And when you start to push decisions down in the organization, you give people at all levels the ability to move more quickly, to assume responsibility, to act creatively, to collaborate smoothly, and of course, to innovate. Now, this brand new article introduces the thinking and guidance you need to decentralize decision-making successfully inside your organization. It starts by looking at the anatomy of a decision, the 4 key options that face any decision maker. Should I take the decision? Should I defer the decision? Should I escalate the decision? Or should I delegate the decision? And it gives you the criteria you need to decide which one of these 4 options will be most effective. Now, organizations that excel in decentralizing decision-making have a healthy culture that supports that way of working. They have communication happening up, down, and sideways, and it fuels innovation. So really understanding this provides the safety you need to go fast and to be able to adapt. And to ensure that you're on the right track with accelerating flow inside your enterprise, please have a look and read these 2 brand new articles and think about how you can start to apply the tools and techniques they describe. Now, finally, I'm excited to share with you that in Safe Studio, we're developing a suite of micro-credentials for safe professionals to gain the right knowledge at the right time on this topic of flow. They will be available through facilitator-led or self-guided online learning experiences. And this new offering will empower you to develop the skills you need to be successful in your career as a safe professional. These shorter, more focused learning formats allow you to quickly learn and put these new skills into practice. The first 2 modules we're building are specifically built to help you develop your skills for coaching flow. Module 1, Facilitating Value Stream Mapping. This will be an e-learning series and workshop that can be completed in a few hours to help you develop confidence for facilitating the Value Stream Mapping workshop. Module 2, Measuring Flow, will be an online experience from which you'll learn all about the flow metrics. You'll get to practice measuring flow at each level and develop the skills to tell the stories contained in the data, all in just a few hours. Once you complete these micro-credentials, you'll receive shareable recognition that you can include on social media or your resumes. And as we start to build out our micro-credential suite, we want real feedback from the Safe Professional community. If you'd like to join the beta cohort, please visit this webpage to sign up. Participants will be the very first to experience the full course material and be able to provide their feedback to shape other learners' experiences. Now, don't forget, if you haven't already, please upgrade to Safe 6.0. This contains all the new guidance about flow and how you can effectively accelerate the flow of value across your enterprise. Also, please look out for the brand new videos that we've just released around measuring flow and accelerating flow. And of course, take the time to read the new articles and sign up for the beta opportunity to test our brand new micro-credential suite. And with that, I'll hand it back to Inbar to wrap things up.
Thank you everyone for joining us today for our November 2023 product launch. Here's what you can do today to start exploring everything we've announced. To try PIPlanning.io for free or to request a coffee chat with our team, visit scaledagile.com/PIPlanning. Visit scaledagile.com/cofund to check out the Safe Cofund participatory budgeting app. Start a conversation with your HR people to understand their challenges and set up a private class with Agile HR Explorer to involve them in your Agile transformation. Sign up for our beta cohort of on-demand learning and check out the new guidance articles at scaledagileframework.com or through Safe Studio to learn more about empowering people, LPM, and coaching flow. As always, please share your feedback with us so we can continually improve what we do. All our teams at Scaled Agile are working hard on the next innovations to help you work differently and build the future. See you next time.